Tip number 1. This is one of my favorite functions, which is sum. You can enter equals and then type in sum, and you could very easily sum up all the values, and that will tell you the total of the column. But there's an easier way by using a shortcut key. You can press the Alt key together with the equals key, and that will automatically pulls you in the sum function and sum up all the values above. Tip number 2, I will show you how to connect or concatenate different values. Here I have cell A and B, and I like to bring it together in one cell. Simply use concatenate function to pull this together, then type in the first value, then type comma, quote, space, quote, comma, because I want a space between them, and next select another value and close the parentheses. Tip number 3, I want to show you how you could use SUMIF to sum values if they meet a certain criteria. Here I have sales data by country, so I can see the sales from both countries. If I only want to know the sales of the United States, we could use SUMIF to do this in the cells. I'm going to enter my formula by type in equal SUMIF and open parentheses. Then I want to look at the column A to see if it's matches United States. Next, I need to type in a criteria, and I'm going to type in United States in quotes. Next, I'm going to insert a column, and if it's find a match over, here I need to indicate what I wanted to sum. And I wanted to sum the cells for the sum range, and I'm going to highlight the cells column. Next, close my parentheses and hit enter here. Tip number 4, I want to show you how to use a function to run a logical test on your data in your Excel sheet. I'm going to start off with just a simple one here. So let's say that maybe the favorability rating is lower than 25. We want to investigate. So I'm going to say if this cell is less than 25%, then we're going to investigate. Otherwise, if it's greater than the amount, then we'll simply say all good. Now that I type in my formula, let's press enter, and here you can see this is 94%, which is greater than 25%, so it's all good. Then if I copy the formula all the way down here, you can see the 8% case we should investigate in this. Now let's move on to tip number 5. I want to show you how you could easily adjust columns width and rows height automatically. If I want everything to simply fit, I could just click up here on the corner, and that will select my entire sheet. Next, I could drag in between the rows, and that will automatically adjust all the rows. Similarly, I could drag the space in between two columns, and that will work all the same. Tip number 6, you could define names of cells instead of using letters and numbers combination to make it friendlier to read and understand. Here an example, if I want to calculate profit, I insert an equal signs, and then I would say D2 minus E2. When you look at the formula, unless you can see the sheet and see the reference, it won't make much of the sense. Instead, what I could do is I can name different columns that I want to run for this formula. To do this, let's highlight all the revenues number, and then if we click on the formula tabs, it will open the formula ribbons, and in the middle we can define a name. Let's click on define name, and here it automatically detects the column header is revenues. Next, I can also highlight the cost column, and I'll define the name for this as well. Here, select the name on the headers, and then let's click on OK. Now if I go back to my profit column, instead of entering the sales value, I'll type in revenues, subtract by cost, and that'll be it. For tip number 7, I want to show you how to use data types in Microsoft Excel. Currently, Excel has two. There are stocks and geography. So here I have 3 countries or geographies, and I could pull in all types of data related to these. So here, for instance, I'm going to highlight these 3 items and click on geography. Then I click on this plus icon. I can pull in to all types of information related to this geography. For example, I can pull in the population, largest cities, and unemployment rate. Tip number 8. Another way to sum values, you click on Insert on the top ribbon and then insert a table and then click on OK. This insert a table, and under table design you can add total rows. Now when I click down below here to form a drop down list, and I can select from number of different functions, I'm gonna select sum, and there's to also I have my sum. Tip number 9. You can freeze paint your Excel sheet. Here when I scroll down I lost the headers. If I want to keep them up here, I go to wheel on the top toolbar and I can go over these options that say freeze paint. I can then freeze the top row. When I freeze the top row, now my column's the header stays, and if I want to unfreeze the paint, I simply click unfreeze. It's unfreeze, boy! Lastly, tip number 10. Simply press tab to move to the next column on the right, and press shift along with the tab to move the column before on the left. So here's the end of the video, so thank you for watching and bye bye.